NewsNation's Joe Khalil joins us live now from Wilmington, Delaware. Joe, it's another historic case. Jury selection just ended. How did it go?
Well, they got their jury in a day, and that was something that the judge was hoping that they'd be able to do. The expectation really on both sides last week and seemingly again today is that it is possible anywhere from 3 to 5 days they may be able to wrap this trial up. Obviously, big caveat, we don't know how these things develop. Sometimes they take on a life of their own, but we know that there was a full day. They went through almost 70 people, and it was tough. There were times we were listening in live as it was happening, and the judge was just dismissing people one after another who said they had, in some cases, strong feelings for or against President Biden and Hunter Biden. Others more sympathetic openly to Hunter Biden, saying they feel like he's only being prosecuted because he is the president's son. And then, of course, the Biden family has deep roots in Wilmington, in Delaware. So some people literally knew the family directly. So it wasn't exactly easy, but they got it done. They're on track now to begin again tomorrow and get right going. They're on schedule here.
Yeah. To that point, Joe, it is very rare for someone to be prosecuted for this crime. Most people who are prosecuted went on to commit a crime with that gun that they bought. Hunter Biden only owned the gun for 11 days. What is there merit to the argument that he's only being prosecuted because he's President Biden's son?
You know, if I had a law degree, I'd be more comfortable answering that question. But I can tell you there's really nothing about this, Elizabeth, that is precedented. I mean, at this point, you've got the son of a sitting president who is being prosecuted by the Justice Department of the sitting president. Meanwhile, the president himself is taking great pains to not comment very much. In fact, today that statement was so eye-opening because it was so rare. He has barely, other than in passing, talking to a reporter and saying, my son did nothing wrong months ago, has been virtually silent about this case. And clearly he is emotionally pained. You saw that statement he referenced. He said, I'm not going to comment on federal cases, but as a father, we have boundless love for our son, and went on to talk about how proud he was of his son defeating his addiction problems. This is something that is going to weigh, not just on the campaign, but in very personal terms on the Biden family, especially, Elizabeth, as this continues in the next couple of days, because we know the evidence could get pretty personal into details about Hunter's life.
Yeah, the witness list includes his ex-wife and his brother's widow, with whom he had a romantic relationship. I mean, it just feels like, you know, buckle up. This could get really salacious or at least deeply personal.
Exactly. And we also know, because the prosecutors sort of showed their hand a bit, that they also intend to introduce parts of Hunter Biden's now infamous laptop, where he was going through the throes of his addiction. It was at its peak when he had pictures and videos and things that you wouldn't want your children to see on that laptop. Many of those things are now going to be entered into evidence. We know that because the prosecution said and argued for the right to do that. They now have it. There are also going to be parts of Hunter Biden's own memoir, which, again, get very salacious and very detailed about his personal life. Now, Hunter's going to have a chance to review some of that before it's entered into evidence. Nonetheless, it is going to be a pretty painful reminder of some of the darkest chapters of his life, and it's going to be all there for the public to see this week.
I have a question to ask. Since it's a federal crime, technically, if he's convicted, his father, the president, could pardon him.
Yeah, he could. Technically, he could. And not for lack of trying. We have asked some White House aides and campaign aides that question. Is that on the table? You don't really get a straight answer from anyone. Frankly, I'm not sure that anybody knows the answer to that question. I'm not even sure President Biden, frankly, knows whether he wants to do that. All we have to judge right now, because no one's given you a yes or no, is the fact that so far President Biden has been about as hands-off, as you can expect for a president to be given this unprecedented situation as his son now facing trial, for, again, under the Justice Department, under the Attorney General he himself has appointed. Certainly, it's within his rights to do that. I think as we get closer and we see what happens, then that's something that's going to weigh on the president. And I imagine his closest advisors will have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, not the history I think any of them were hoping to make. Joe Khalil.
No.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.